Most people are selling the wrong thing. Simple as it sounds, it's fucking true. I mean, none of this is complicated. You know, I'll see all these fucking things posted about all these, and they have their own, they put their own name on the technology. You know, they call it a technology, but it's not. It's all the same stuff. There's nothing new in direct response marketing ever. You know, if they haven't, there's just not. I mean, there's new technology and stuff and new tactics based on that technology. But it's all just implementing strategies which we're well aware of. And one of those is to change the perception of what you sell, which is another way of saying that most people are selling the wrong thing. For instance, if you're a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, chances are you're selling butchery, baking, or candlestick making, you know. And if you do that, so if you're a plumber and you sell plumbing because you like taps, you're an electrician, you sell rewires and wiring, whatever, that's why you're commoditized, because anyone who can fit a plug is essentially looks the same to you. It doesn't matter if you're more highly skilled than the other person. Yeah. Because, you know, a highly skilled or a low skilled person who's just saying, I fit this plug, well, you'll get the price that someone perceives it's worth to fit a plug. That's it. No matter how fucking good you are. Whether that's fair or right or not isn't the point. It's just a fact. So really, you need to be thinking, I have said this before, but it's really worth focusing on it in this episode, and that is, think about your outcome. Now, the best way to describe your outcome is first to talk about what it isn't. The first thing is what you sell. You know, to use the Fit Pro again, and this example I've used before, but it's worth repeating because it's a classic example that people need to hammer home into their own fucking thick heads. Classic one is the PT who stands in the gym waiting for people to come to him, and all he's selling is diet and exercise. I'll do your diet, I'll do your exercise. Here's the gym we work out in. That's the thing. Anyone can do that. And that's why they probably charge 15 quid an hour, which is about minimum wage, isn't it? 11, 12 quid is minimum wage.
Yeah. Minimum wage is like 8 quid.
Oh, 8 quid. But what? Is that just the lowest minimum wage, or isn't it banded?
Yeah, and then no, that's for like 20, 21-year-olds, which I think is where it ends. And then there's the living wage, which is promoted in London, which is like 15.
Okay. But isn't that the same as the minimum wage, really?
No, well, no, most places still pay the minimum wage, not the living wage.
Okay, we'll say it's a tenner an hour, so the number's not that important. But at 15 quid an hour as a PT, you're not, by the time you've paid all your overheads and insurance and marketing and the rest of it, and also taking into account latency when you're not working, you're probably not on much more than minimum wage anyway. You're just not. You know? And this is the mistake business owners make. When you get these subbies and you guys in the trades leaving their existing businesses. It's happening now, and this is real danger. They're leaving their existing employers to set up on their own for various reasons. You know, bearing in mind it's all turning to shit right now, as we've just seen in the announcement from the Chancellor. And they start working on their own, and all of a sudden they're making more money than they've ever made in their lives in terms of revenue. They're making more than their wage. What they don't kind of realize is they have to run a business on that. And that includes all the overheads, including tax, insurance, their own van, tools, all the rest of it, some of which they may not have had to pay before. But probably more crucially, it has to include acquiring clients and selling to them, but also the times you're not working, which includes the times you're selling to clients. And when you're selling to clients, you're not earning money. Yeah, what you're doing is you're raising the opportunity of earning money at a future time. You're not earning it right now. Yeah, effectively. So this is why it all goes wrong, because they think, well, we're making more money right now. And then their overheads start to increase as they buy more kit, buy vans, maybe take guys on. Then they suddenly start having to charge VAT, because of course, up until a certain threshold, they're not charging VAT. So the prices are low to the consumer. And about by the end of year 2 to year 3, often they're in deep shit, because they are the busy fool. And the new guys starting their businesses today might think this is great, make hay while the sun shines. But in a year, 2 years, you are going to be regretting not taking a stand and getting things right now. And one of the things to do in this is not to start selling what you're selling, not to start selling what you're doing, like the PT, diet and exercise, or electricianing and plumbing and kitchen fitting. Anyone can do that. Anyone who's trained in your expertise can do that. And there's always someone going to do it cheaper than you. So that's the first thing. Don't sell your thing. The better thing to sell, but still not perfect, is the result. So you might say, well, rather than just saying you'll have a nice kitchen, you say you'll have a beautiful kitchen and you'll enjoy using it and you'll feel proud of it. You won't have so much house embarrassment. Or if you're a PT, you know, you look better naked, you look better in you look better naked, you look better in your clothes as well, and that kind of thing. But the really smart PT will be selling what all that actually means. It means maybe rampant holidays abroad and loads of sex off hot chicks. Maybe it means for an older guy actually having sex with your wife on a regular basis now and not having her refuse to go into town with you. Like one of a friend of mine, he has someone talking to him and he says, Phil, my wife won't even go into town because I'm so fat. Mm-hmm. Well, if you can fix that problem, that is what we would call an outcome.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing to do with diet and exercise or even losing weight per se. It's to do with what it actually gives to their lives. Now, a classic example, again, I've used this before, I'll use it again, and I will keep using it because it's a superb example. It's from real life. When I was a doorman, we had a lady who lived nearby, lived in the town, and her husband left her. She was in her 40s at the time, so she was a little bit frumpy. 3 kids had taken their toll, and he ran off with a much younger version, probably his secretary or some other cliche like that. Her outcome for going to a PT, which kept her going when it was hard, who her missus, was this vision of her walking into the nightclub in a little black number, because she looked good when she wasn't an unattractive woman, but she was just a bit frumpy. To lose all the weight, looked great in a little dress. Her ex-husband's new girlfriend was now heavily pregnant. So I walk in the nightclub, see them both together. She'd look fantastic, drop dead gorgeous, and his mouth would go, and he'd be thinking, what the fuck have I done? You know, I could be there now. Because it wasn't love that he left her for, it was just lust, you know?
Yeah.
That was a real outcome, and that was an actual example of something this girl did. So that's what made her pay a premium for a PT at the time. I'm going back 25 years or more. That's what made her pay a premium for a PT. That's what kept her going when the sessions got hard. It was nothing to do with going to the gym. It was nothing to do with diet and exercise, nothing to do with even losing weight and looking better per se. It was to do with what that would mean for her in her life. Well, here's the thing. No matter what you're selling, yeah, so you might think, well, I'm a painter and decorator, I'm a kitchen fitter, I'm an electrician. That doesn't apply to me. Yes, it does. Because when people have these things installed in their houses, and I'm talking high end, I'm not talking plug sockets necessarily. I'm talking maybe hot tubs, maybe expensive bathrooms and showers, maybe a swimming pool, maybe having your garden completely redone, maybe having your house completely redecorated so you can impress the mother-in-law. You've still got this outcome that they want. There's always something underlying. It's not just they want a nice house. There's always an underlying thing. It may be to do with the mother-in-law. It may be to do with the neighbours. It may be to do with the guy having it done so his wife will fuck him a bit more often. There's loads of reasons for it. And you don't even have to know what they are necessarily, but you just need to know they are there and you can speak about them, even if you're talking about them opaquely.